Hello BookTube, hello friends, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today I would like to go ahead, even though it's a little early, and share with you my June TBR. I started getting really excited about June when I have continued to see various readathons announced, and I've been thinking about what I want to read for each of those readathons, and also how to incorporate my own reading projects into the readathons, and just, what I want to read, and I just get excited about that. I love making TBRs, and I love setting goals and having reading challenges and checking things off my list. So I just thought I would just go ahead and film my TBR today, because Friday I will do a Friday Reads, and soon after that it'll be the end of the month and it'll be time to wrap up things. And I have some big projects that I'm doing this month with Book a Day in May, and the Dr. Seuss book every day, and all the other stuff I'm reading, and the author binges that I'm doing, and all of that. So anyway, I'm just excited about my TBR. So there are a lot of readathons. I've seen several announced, but the three that I want to participate in for sure, I want to share those with you and tell you about them, and I will leave links below to the hosts so that you can go and check those out. There may be some others that will pop up later, and I will want to join those too. But for now, I'm going to try to stick with these three, plus all of my other reading projects. So let me just go over the readathons, and then I'll go over my projects and what I want to read for each one. And within my reading projects, if a certain book will fit into a particular readathon, then we'll just kind of go back and forth and play that by ear. So the three readathons, one of them takes place for the whole month of June. One of them is a 2-week-long readathon within the month of June, and then the other one is going to be the whole summer, starting on June 21st, I believe, whatever that Sunday is, and go throughout the whole summer. So I want to get started on it and just continue it throughout the summer. So the one that is the whole month of June is called Pastoral June. It's hosted by Angie from Literary Labors and Summer from Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. And there's 4 prompts. One is to read a book with a pastoral image on the cover. The second prompt is to read a book with that takes place in a rural setting. And then number 3, read a children's book set in the country. And then 4 is a group read. The group read is going to be Lark Rise to Candleford, which I think is a trilogy, and I want to attempt at least the first one. I saw the audio for it's just called Lark Rise, and I think the audio is either on Scribd or Hoopla, and I want to definitely try that out, and if I like it, I'll continue on with the other 2. So I think of all the readathons, I sort of say this is the one I'll do all the prompts, but I will probably also do the prompts for the summer one as well. The second one, the one that's 2 weeks, I may not do all the prompts, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so anyway, as I come to some of the books that I'm going to read, I will tell you what I think will fit each prompt. Okay, so the second readathon is hosted by Sarah from the Bookish Knitter, and then Bree from Falling for Romance on Instagram, and they are doing the Categorically Romance Readathon. It's from June 5th through June 20th. So I don't think that I will try to do all the prompts for this one, but I will for sure attempt to read at least one book that is a category romance. And let me just go over the prompts with you. The first one is to read a 2021 release, and the second one is to read an Own Voices book. The third one is to read a book published before the year 2000, and that's probably the one I'll most likely read. That's the prompt I'll cover. The fourth prompt is to read an imprint that is no longer being published. So, like, of the Harlequin lines, there are several different imprints, and some of them are older. They're not using them anymore. And so the book I pick may cover that one as well. And then the fifth one is to read a book that has some kind of a summery look on the cover. Something that just yells summer. This is a summer read. And so those are the 5 prompts. So let me just go over real quick what I have, because I think whatever I read for that is not going to count for any of my other challenges. So I was just looking on my shelf, and I've got a couple of older Debbie Maycomber books, and I've been trying to read through all of her old catalog, like all her backlist, and there's a lot. So I have this one. Both of these are actually fairly short, and this one is called The Matchmakers by Debbie Maycomber, and the line is called the Harlequin Famous Firsts Collection. And so I don't think that's a line that they're doing anymore. If that even counts as a line, that might have just been a little short collection. But the subtitle of that says, enjoy some of the, or the blurb, enjoy some of the very first Harlequin books written by best-selling authors of today. So anyway, that is definitely one, especially if I can get it on audio. It's not long, so you know, I could probably just pick it up and read it. And then this one, I think, falls in a series, and if I don't think it's the first one, so you know, I don't know if I will pick it up or not, but it's on my shelf. Here Comes Trouble by Debbie Maycomber. This is from a Harlequin, the Harlequin romance line. It is number 3148, published in September of 1991. So yeah, definitely before 2000. And then I've got one other one here that is also just a really short one. And this is a silhouette romance called A Tale of Love by Alice Sharp. And it's from a series called Perpetually Yours. And I think it's a trilogy, or it's a collection of 3. I have 2 of them. I think this might be the second one. I've got the other, I've got another one that I think is the first one. It's by Carla Cassidy. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, this one is maybe book 2. So I would start with the first one that I have, if this is not the first one. Anyway, this is just the first one I came to on my shelf. So one of those is a likely candidate. I also noticed on, oh goodness, somebody's driving by with the music blaring. I noticed on Hoopla a while back, and I put it on my favorites because the title jumped out at me. I think it's called Virgin on Her Wedding Night, and it's an old Harlequin, maybe Harlequin Presents or something like that. And so I don't know if I'll be able to find a physical copy of that one, but it's definitely on audio on Hoopla, and I love the title. I'm all about that. So that is also a possibility for that readathon. Okay, so then the third readathon is hosted by Tiffany from the Beachbumbookworms. Just dropped my book. All my notes. Oh no, I didn't. It was something else. Okay. And it is so you can find Tiffany on her channel, The Beachbumbookworm, and her co-host has decided not to do BookTube anymore, so she deleted all of her videos. Her channel name was Cozy Reads Mystery, but they are the hosts of a Discord group, and it's called Killing It with Cozies, or Killing Time with Cozies, and I will leave the link for the Discord group down below, as well as Tiffany's channel, and they are hosting a readathon for the entire summer, and it's a cozy mystery readathon, and the prompts are the word summer, S-U-M-M-E-R. So ideally, you want to look for books that the title starts with the words, the letters of summer. So a book that's the title starts with S, a title starts with U, and so forth. You don't have to read in order, and it can also be, I think if you can't find a book with the first word that starts with that letter, it can be just that letter can be in the title somewhere, or maybe the first letter of another word of the title. Maybe it's not author's name though. It has to go, you have to go with the title. That's the rule. And so I have the first 3, my S, U, and M are picked out, and they are, let me just go ahead and show them to you, because like I said, it's a cozy mystery. This is a series that I read the first one of years ago, and I've collected almost the entire series and haven't read any more than that first one. So, the second book is called Framed in Lace by Monica Ferris. So I'm going to need to read this one or listen to it before the 21st, because then the next 3 books in the series, books 3, 4, and 5, go S-U-M perfectly. And you can disregard A's and Th's. So the next book is A Stitch in Time. So there's my S. And the book after that is Unraveled Sleeve. So there's my U. And then my first M, A Murderous Yarn. And this is the Needlework series or Needlepoint series. I think it's Needlework. The first book of the series is called Cruel World, and I read it, like I said, years ago. But I remember it, basically. At least I remember the gist of it, the basic premise. Anyway, I need to get to these, so I'm excited. So I will plan on getting through at least 4 of these, and then getting half of the prompts done for the readathon in the month of June. And then at some point in July and August, I will plan on doing the other 3. I haven't nailed down exactly what I'm going to do or what I'm going to read for the second M and the E and the R. I've got a couple of ideas, but I'm not going to announce that yet because I don't want you to hold me to it. Not that you would, but anyway, so those are the 3 readathons. And now going back to all of my projects. So I am still working my way through the Newbery winners, and I have not actually read a Newbery winner in a while because I have been sort of stalled in the Chronicles of Prydain, and I'm trying to find out, here they are. So I am on track now to finish book 4 in the month of whatever month we're in, May. So this is book 4, Terran Wanderer. That only leaves me the High King left. And I think it will count for Pastoral June because it is definitely set. It's a rural setting. Sorry, I have dropped a couple of books. Hold on one second. Okay, so I definitely think that it's a rural setting, and I think it's okay if it's more of a medieval setting. It's still rural, right? Okay, so we're gonna, I think that will count. But I think I'm gonna have a couple of others that will work for rural setting as well. And this is the other one. This is the only other book, Newbery winner from the 60s, that I need to read. It's called Onion John. Now, my copy here does not necessarily have a pastoral picture on the front, but if you look this book up on Goodreads, the copy that you'll see, or the cover that you'll see, is very idyllic and very pastoral. It's a winding lane with a stone wall, and there's, you know, like a meadow and trees and all that. So just because I don't have that copy doesn't mean I can't count it, right? And then sorry, I have too many books stacked here, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose half of them. So that is for Newbery. I want to try and finish both of those, and then by the end of the month, do my video telling you about all of the Newbery medal winners from the 1960s, or of the 1960s. All right, next on my list is the Sunshine State books. They were announced at the end of April. I've got the list. I even have a couple of them checked out, and now that our middle school librarian has retired, I am having a hard time motivating myself to want to read all of those. But I still want to introduce them to you, so I think I'm going to go ahead and check all of them out, and then maybe I'll do a drawing, and I'll pick 5 that I want to read, or maybe I will just look at them all and see which ones look like the ones I would really most want to read, or I'll do a little bit of both. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how hard I have it, how hard of a time I have choosing from the 15 books. But I will do a video and show you all of those, and then maybe you guys can help me choose what what to read, or you can just say read them all. So I'm not going to do that today, and I'm not even going to show you the 2 that I have because I'll do a whole video on that. So for my author binge project, I said that in June I was going to binge 3 different authors, and it's going to be 3 Loris, 3 authors whose first name is Lori. So I have 2 Christian authors that I have read and enjoyed, and 1 mainstream romance author. The mainstream romance author is Lori Wilde. Now, her books might get a little bit steamy. I've read 1 book. I have been collecting this Twilight Texas series, and I've read the first one. I don't own it anymore. It was years ago. But I keep seeing the covers, and I think, oh, they look so good. I want to read these. So I've noticed that they are unscribed, and this is not the... This is a collection of short stories that I think comes after book 4. But I want to read 2, 3, and 4 in the series. I think they're called the Sweethearts Quilting Club and the True Love, or maybe it's True Love Quilting Club, Sweetheart Cookie Club. I don't know. They're all clubs, and there's a quilting and a garden and a cookie. Some sort of club. Anyway, I couldn't find them. I've got them. I think I have. I may not have book 2, but I've got 3 and 4. Anyway, this was the first one I grabbed just as a placeholder. So I want to at least listen to 3 of these, and if I'm really loving them, then I'll just go ahead and keep going and listening to more, as long as Scrib doesn't cut me off. If you've seen my Friday Reads videos, I have listened to, just in this month, I think about 10 books on Scribd. It's unprecedented. They have not cut me off. They're all by the same author, and as soon as I would finish one, it would say, okay, here's the next one. Here's the next one. And I was just, I don't know. I don't have an explanation for it. I'm not sure why, but I just kept on going. So anyway, maybe that'll happen next month too, or maybe they'll say, nope, you reached your limit. But anyway, this is one of them. So the 2 Lori Christian authors, one is Lori Wick, and I have had this trilogy on my shelves for several years now, and they just look beautiful. So this trilogy is the one that I want to read by Lori Wick, and I believe I can get them all on audio. At least 2 of them are on Hoopla, and I think I can get the one that that's not on there. I'm looking to see the order. I thought I had them written down. All right, that's number 3. Okay, so number 1 is Moonlight on the Mill Pond. That's beautiful. Number 2 is Just Above a Whisper. And number 3, Leave a Candle Burning. So I'm excited about those. And then the other Lori is Lori Copeland. And I have read several series by Lori Copeland. And so now I want to read a few standalones. All 3 of these standalones are on audio on Hoopla. So I want to get to these 3. Monday Morning Faith, Where Roses Will Bloom Again, and Now and Always. So those are going to be my author binges for the month of June. Mostly all audio, if I can get them. And the next project I have, well, let me tell you about book club, and then I'm going to do a couple of drawings. So for book club, my mystery book club is reading Wildfire by Anne Cleves, and that is book 8 in the Shetland Island series, and I hope that I can read this without having to read all the rest of them. I think this is the last one in the series, but this is definitely a pastoral cover. Look at that. And I have to read this for our mystery book club, so I'm excited about that. This is a CD copy I can listen to in my car. And then for my regular book club, the Literati book club, we are reading Book of Lost Friends by Lisa Wingate. I've got that on CD. It's out in my car, and I neglected to bring it in, but I'm sure most of you have seen that, and I'll show it whenever I get started reading it in a Friday Reads or whatever. Then I'm trying to see. Oh, so I have been trying to read ahead just a little bit. So a couple of books I want to read that are preliminary books, I guess is the right word. There's several books that I need to read for book club that are farther down in series. I decided not to read the early books in the Shetland Island series because I did read a review that said it was fine as a standalone, so I'm hoping that that's true. But we are reading a book by Chanel Cleeton later in the year called Last Train to Key West, and I just looked it up today, and it didn't seem to be part of a series, but I could have sworn that I looked it up a while back, and it was 3rd in a series. So the first 2, well, the first book is called something about Havana. It's a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. And I've got that one and the next one, which is something about, oh goodness, I don't even know. I should have written it down. Anyway, they're all by Chanel Cleeton, and they seem to all be related in some way. And the first 2 are on Audible Plus, which I still have as of right now. I have one series I really want to listen to on Audible Plus, and once I get through that, if I can't find anything else that I really want to listen to, I'll let it go. But for right now, I've got it, and so I may as well use it. And so I want to listen to, I think it's something about Havana. It's a dual timeline story about I think it takes place in the 50s, and then in maybe 2017 and like 1950 something. And it's about a woman who I shouldn't, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to say because I'll mess it up. Okay, just know it's by Chanel Cleaton if you want to look it up. Something about Havana. And then, my goodness. Then we are reading a book way down in the Amelia Peabody series by Elizabeth Peters, and I definitely want to read that whole series. So I would like to go ahead and read Crocodile on the Sandbank, at least, even if I can't read all of them. The one we're reading later on in the year is the Golden One, I think, which is maybe book 14. So I may not get all of those read, but I at least want to get a few read so that I get a feel for the characters before I jump into the Golden One. So I'm excited about that. I believe it's on Hoopla, and I do want to get that done. So that's for book club. All right, so then, also my TBR jar. I've got 2 books left from my last TBR jar draw. One is Hey Cowboy, Want to Get Lucky by Baxter Black. That looks fun. And then a Cozy Mystery series I have 2 of. Wild Goose Chase by Terry Thayer is the first one. So I might get to either of those or both. I don't know. We'll see. And then I have 2 projects. And I'm going to do a drawing because I'm having a hard time deciding what I want to pick for both of those projects. So one of them, I've got it in my cup here. One of the projects is the middle grade trilogies that I want to finish this year. And then one of them is my series about series challenge. And I just put all of the ones that weren't already, all of the different series that I didn't already have plugged into a particular month. I put the rest of them in here. A lot of them are romance related because I was kind of saving those for the summer. And now that I know when Sarah is doing her readathon and what she's doing, I can go ahead now and plan my summer reading because I didn't know last year, you know, she just did she did the summer fling just in August. So I thought, okay, if she's going to do that again, I got to save some stuff for August. But now that I know she's doing the category romance readathon in June, that clears up my summer for, you know, whatever I want to read. So I have, I think, 7 different series in here that I want to finish this year. And I'm going to go ahead and pick out, I think I'll pick out 2 of them. Although one series that that's on my list is the Chronicles of Prydain. And I've already said, you know, that kind of counts as my Newbery. So, I may finish it and then only one of these, but I'm going to go ahead and draw out 2 just to kind of narrow my choices down a little bit. So let's see what I draw. All right, the first one is The Haven Makers. All right, so that is by Robin Jones Gunn. It's so far only a duology. I've read the first one. The publisher sent me the first one and the second one, and I have not read the second one. So I'll go get it in just a minute, but let me draw out the next one, and then I'll go and get both of them if I have them, if I own them. All right, and the next one I do not own, but it's the second book in the Bella Vista Chronicles by Susan Wiggs. So I've read the first one and the third one, and I've not read the second one. It's something about beekeepers, I think the Beekeeper's Ball or something like that. So I will get that on CD from my library and listen to that in my car. So let me go get The Haven Makers, and I will show you. Okay, so the first book in the series is Becoming Us, and I have read it. I really enjoyed it. It is a bit of a spin-off of the Christy Miller series, so if you ever read that as a kid, she is a grown-up in this book, but she's not the main character. And then the second book, which I need to read, and definitely want to get to it, is called Being Known. I don't know anything about it. I think that... Well, this book centered around a group of friends. Christy Miller was one of them, but the main character is another one of her friends. And then I think this book centers around one of the other friends, but not Christy Miller because she's already got her own series. So this one looks really good, and I'm excited about it. I hope there's going to be more in the series because this one was very good. But for sure, I'd like to be caught up with this and ready to go if and when there is a third book. So this is definitely on my list, and I'm excited that I pulled it out of the cup. All right, so let me pour these out, and I have already in my pocket 5 middle grade trilogies that I want to finish. I've read the first one and I want to finish them. Now, let me just give you a side note though. This month I said that my choice for May is The Rats of Nim, and I have started this second book and I'm on track to finish it, but I will not get the third book read by the end of May. So this one is still going to be in my on my staging shelf. I will still plan to try to finish this one, but should I finish it and be ready to read another one, then I want to go ahead and draw one out because I cannot decide which one I want to read next. So I wanted to just say real quick, I realized, and maybe some of you have realized, that I have been mispronouncing the name of this book. And let me just say, if you ever hear me mispronounce anything, or you think I'm mispronouncing anything, please let me know. You can comment, comment publicly, or you can comment privately, send me a message, because I do really think it's important to try to pronounce things, especially names, correctly. Now, you may have heard me recently saying one particular author's name differently than other people, and that's because I believe that is the correct way that that author says his name. We'll talk about that in another video. I know I've been saying for years now that I want to do a video about pronouncing authors' names. I'm still looking for just the right video to back up my theory of why I think people are saying it, I hate to say incorrectly, differently. Let's just say that. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I have been saying Rasco because, you know, Rasco, whatever. This is Raxo, R-A-C-S-O. My brain just looked at that and thought Rasco. And I don't know. It's kind of like you look at a book by Roald Dahl and your brain wants to put the N in there. You know, you think, okay, that must be Ronald. And then you have to look at it again and think, oh no, there's no N, it's Roald. Okay, so anyway, I finally, you know, it took me opening the book and reading it on the page. And I was like, wait a minute, is that right? And I was totally messing it up. Anyway, it's cute. I've read several chapters now and it's a lot of fun. And so that is, I will start with that, but then I have already plugged in a few of the particular trilogies into certain months, but some of them I have not, and I can't decide what I want to read for June. Some of these I'm going to have to read in print. A couple of them I think are available on audio, so let's just see what I choose. All right. Okay, and the middle grade or YA trilogy is Randoms. Yay, I'm excited about that. Hold on one second. So this trilogy is a middle grade science fiction adventure, and I have read this first one. It's so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't own the other two, but I will get them from the library. And this is about a futuristic world where the Earth, as well as a few other planets, are applying to belong to this Federation of Planets. And so the Earth has sent their delegation of kids, of course, you know, they've sent their delegation of kids to apply for this. They have to compete in some tests and things like that to see if the Earth is worthy of joining this federation. So they are joined by kids from a couple of other planets, and there are 4 team members. 3 of them have been chosen because of their abilities, and the 4th team member has been chosen randomly. Or have they? So that's where you get the name Randoms, and I thought this was so fun. They're a bit chunky, but this was a very enjoyable book, and I'm excited to get to the second book. And that is, I think, about it. Yeah, so that may not be all I read, but that is definitely a good portion of what I hope to read and what I plan to read for the month of June. I will leave all the readathon information down below. Oh, I do have one other one that I wanted to mention. Actually, a couple of others for Pastoral June that I didn't mention already. I am buddy reading this right now with Summer, who is one of the hosts of Pastoral June. This is her BookTube spin pick for this round, and I won her giveaway. So we have both started. We're really not going to go full out on it until June, but we have both sort of, we're getting a little preview of it right now. We've started it, but anyway, we're just kind of slow starting, I guess, is a good way to say it. This is really intriguing, and I think it's going to be a great book. And then a couple of my current reads that I think would also count for Pastoral June that I would definitely like to read or finish or make progress in. One of them has been on my TBR, or it's been on my currently reading list since I think January. True Love and Homegrown Tomatoes. Definitely a rural setting, and I think this would be perfect. I'm half done with it, and I want to read the other half, and I'm going to count this for Pastoral June. And then for the Year in Mitford read-along, I had said early in the year that I wasn't going to reread Mitford yet, but I needed to read and wanted to read the Mitford Bedside Companion. My plan had been to read a bit of this every month. I read some in January, a little bit in February, and I haven't picked it back up since then. I've just had a lot of stuff going on, and I just haven't had time, and I haven't made the time, but definitely idyllic, pastoral, wonderful, and I want to definitely make some progress in this book during the month of June, and I probably won't finish it. I don't even plan to finish it yet. Before the end of the year, I'll finish it. But definitely want to make some progress and sort of catch up to where I had intended to be in it by this point in the year. Like to the halfway point, maybe by the end of June. So that is The Mitford Bedside Companion by Jan Karen. And that, I think, is just about everything that I want to share with you today. So let me know what readathons you are participating in the month of June, and I will leave information down below for all of the readathons that I'm participating in. And let's chat in the comments. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.